I am back for another story time episode, and this one is another more entertaining video. I mean, there are some hardships in it too, but I think it's still easier to tell than upcoming videos. I don't think this needs a disclaimer warning. I do talk about children's aid a little bit in this video, which I guess is the Canadian equivalent of CPS in America, which I believe stands for Child Protective Services. There's nothing graphic that I will be discussing, but if that is a trigger for you, then that's a trigger warning. So with that being said, I'm going to get right into today's video. So now that my brother was hanging out with my group, which I found absolutely bizarre. I mean, actually, I don't think I mentioned this before, but my brother actually ended up dating my friend Jenny while she was still in middle school with me. I want to say it was short-lived, and to this day she swears that she only dated him because she was trying to get him to shave his beard. So my brother actually converted to being Muslim, and the way that the family found out about this was because my dad walked in on my brother doing some Muslim prayers, and so my dad knew that he was Muslim. I didn't know that he was Muslim. And then one day I got home to my mom having another screaming hissy fit, but she was like more enraged than usual, and my dad kept on saying, "See, I told you she'd be mad, I told you she'd be pissed." And my brother is like, kind of over it. And I guess in that moment I found out too, because my mom was like screaming and yelling about it, that my brother, she had walked into my brother doing prayers or something too, and so she saw that my brother was practicing a religion that she clearly was not okay with. My mother was a Catholic, Christian Catholic, whatever. It wasn't, I think one is an umbrella term or the other. I don't care. I don't care about religion. I truly couldn't care less. I have no discrimination against anyone who's religious. So when I found out my brother was Muslim, I was like, that's news to me, but oh well, I don't really care. You're interested in that. I'm interested in witchcraft. Let's all be interested in something unique. And my dad's atheist over there, so we have the whole family. It's perfect. So long story short, my friend Jenny ended up dating my brother. She swears by this only because she wanted to shave his beard. And in the Muslim religion, I guess you're not supposed to shave your beard, and he always kept it like, specifically he used his fist to measure it out, and he'd have to keep it like that length. Like, he was very religious. He was very to the books of this religion, even though as I learned more and more about other people that were Muslim, I guess there's two versions of being Muslim, one that is more old school and one that is more modern. And the more modern one, you don't have to have like the long beard. So I guess like there's different rules for being Muslim, and he just followed like the more old-fashioned by the book rules, I guess. So yeah, it was funny that he had dated one of my friends and now he's dating another one of my friends essentially. And my mother found out that I was dating Jesse. She knew about Jesse because when Shannon and Jesse were still dating, actually they had come over to my house during a weekend and asked for me to go and hang out with them. I guess Jesse had went to Shannon's house, got her, and then she convinced him to go to my house to get me. And very awkward story, because I was a mess when they showed up. I was freaking out when they were at the door. I wasn't showered, I was in pajamas, I was a wreck. So I immediately jumped in the shower and like, I'm getting ready right now, I'm getting ready. And like, I took the fastest shower I could ever take. And I didn't even finish blow drying my hair. I was just like trying so hard to like get ready, and I like tried to struggle to put a little bit of mascara on or something, I don't even remember, and quickly get dressed. And I think I was ready honestly within like 10 to 15 minutes or something. And meanwhile, like, my mom's having a conversation at the dinner table, coffee table, whatever, with my friend Shannon and her boyfriend Jesse at the time when they were dating. So that's how my mom knew about Jesse. And the reason why I know that my mom would not be okay with me dating Jesse is because she had mentioned it before, like, oh wow, that's a huge age difference between Shannon and Jesse. I wouldn't be okay with that. Well, Mom, I have news for you, because there is a +1 year in this age gap versus Shannon and Jesse. yeah, she was not very okay with that. So after school, we would still want to do like this hangout thing, right? And we would want to stay out late hours and that kind of thing. And it's actually so funny now that I think about it. I had never thought about this before up until literally this moment. But I never put the two and two together between the fact that I had been staying out late and my mom wasn't okay with it, but she didn't do anything about it. But now I'm staying out late and she knows I'm dating Jesse, and all of a sudden she is doing something about it. One day at home, randomly, children's aid workers show up at the door of my house, and they are just here to have a conversation. By law, they had to be in my life until I was at least the age of 16 because of all of the domestic violence that was going on, all of the house calls that was happening pretty much like really regularly and consistently. So by law, they had to have someone assigned to me to make sure that I was okay in the household. And my mom would always yell and scream and threaten, if you misbehave, you're getting kicked out, you're not living here anymore, so you better be good, kind of thing. Back then too, like I actually believed that I was a rotten kid, that I was actually a bad kid. Like all the times I would swear and yell at my mom to stop yelling and screaming in not the nicest way, and the altercations we would get into and all this. But like, what could you expect a kid to behave like in that kind of environment, that kind of chaos, when you're not even parenting correctly, when you're not showing any love or admiration for your child, when you're putting everyone in your family down constantly, when you're literally abusive emotionally, verbally, and physically, and allowing the father and the brother to be physically abusive and encouraging it towards your child? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think your child's going to love you? And I used to truly believe that I was a bad kid at home. I was a completely different person at school versus at home, because at school I was studying hard, I was doing my work, I was attending my classes, I was really quiet, I was not talking over like anyone, I was paying attention to the teachers, like all this stuff. And then at home, I'm like having these yelling and screaming and fighting matches with my mother pretty much on a constant. It wasn't that I was two different people, it's just the environment that I was in was just not good. Now I know that it wasn't my fault and that I wasn't a bad kid. And the problem is that my mother believed that that was why Children's Aid was in my life. She told me that it was my fault, and she threatened me, like, if you misbehave, if you don't listen. Not like we had any like set ground rules anyway. It changed every single day. Anything she said she wanted in the moment of, like, it was a mess. But anyway, we were sitting in the living room. We were having a conversation with these children aid workers. There was like at least 2 women there. It wasn't just one woman. I'm guessing it's a safety thing. Like, they're not going to just send one woman. It was at least 2. It might have been 3 ladies actually. And they're having a conversation and I'm sitting there like, are you serious? Like, this is ridiculous. Because I think my parents actually brought them into this because they wanted to set rules with me or something, and I wasn't listening. And I think that was in regards to staying out really late after school. So basically, I was threatened and forced to come home immediately after school with like something like a 4 p.m. deadline. It might have been 3:30 p.m. Basically, just enough time to get out of school and to walk home was my curfew. And if I was a minute late, I was threatened that I would get Children's Aid called on me. So I'm like, this is the worst environment for me to be in. It's not like I'm even getting myself into trouble. This is ridiculous. I want to spend time with my friends, not my boyfriend. So now that I have this ridiculous curfew and I let Jesse know what the situation was, he decided that he wouldn't walk me all the way home, but really close. So basically, we lived on a court street. So at the very end of the street, it like circled out and it was like a dead end. And the next street over was the same. And these 2 streets actually connected with a park in the middle. And he would basically take me to the park. We would kiss and make out for a bit, and then he would let me go off home, and he would make sure he saw me through the front door. Sorry, my dogs are going crazy in the background. And we did this every single day, and I was making sure I was home in time because otherwise my parents would lose it. One day, I got home like 1 minute late. It was like 1 minute past curfew. Actually, to be honest though, I think it was like still on time, but like then the minute like just went by. And as soon as I got in the door, my dad was like, "Oh, you're a minute late. That's it. We're calling children's aid." And I thought he was like being angrily joking, like angrily sarcastic. So I didn't realize he was being serious, but I was also like, that's ridiculous. Like 1 minute, like you're ridiculous. And I don't know if my mom was there or if she said anything, but my dad was like freaking out over this 1 minute. And then one day at school, now, to be quite honest with you, this was a very unexpected situation. I don't remember there being any warning signs. I don't remember if there was actually something that coaxed it. I don't remember. It might have been the situation. Maybe there was a fight the day before. I don't remember. But I remember it was towards the end of school, the end of class for me, and it was like my last class of the day. And I ended up getting an overhead like call asking for me to go to the guidance counselor's office. And everyone's looking at me and I'm like, what's this about? So I went over to the guidance counselor office, and there was like at least one or all three of the children's aid workers, and they basically told me, you need to go get your bag, your things, and we're going. We're taking you in our car and we're going to your house. And I didn't know what was going on. So all I had time for was to head over to my locker. I saw either Marie or Haley at my locker, and I rushed over to her and I was like, hey, like there's like children aids workers here to get me, and they're just telling me to get my things, and they're taking me to my house, and I don't know what's going on, but like something's going on, but I need to go. So I just wanted you to know. I just wanted one of you to know and like let everyone know something's going on. My friend's kind of freaking out because she's like, what the heck is going on? And I'm freaking out because I don't know what this means. So I get my backpack and I go back to the guidance counselor's room, and I go with these children aid workers, and they're basically explaining the situation to me, saying that they're taking me to my house so I can pack my belongings, and they're taking me, they already have a house situated for me, a family to go to that's like going to take me in, that's like registered with them or whatever. And so I'm like, what the heck is going on? Because again, I don't remember if there was like anything that coaxed this event to happen, but again, it was just like same old as every day. And I was like going home like as per curfew, other than like the one day I was like 1 minute late. So I don't remember if that came after the 1 minute late situation. I don't remember. But essentially I got home, I was really pissed at my parents, specifically my mother, and I remember I wanted to write my brother a note because he wasn't home. So I wanted to write him a note, and my mother's like kind of panicking and angry and yelling like, let me see it, give me the note. And I'm like, are you kidding me? No, you're not going to get the note. I'm not giving it to you. You have no right to see this note. It's for my brother. And I heard the children aid ladies downstairs because I was upstairs. It was like a 3-story house. There's a basement. There's an upstairs where the bedrooms were, and then there was the main floor, the living room, the kitchen was. And I heard the children aid ladies go, she's right, like actually in my defense. And I was like, wow, I didn't expect, maybe they actually like realize my mother is crazy after all, and that I'm not actually, maybe I'm not as demonic of a child as I thought I was. And so I hide this note under my brother's like keyboard or mouse or something, or somewhere around there, because he's always on the computer. I'm pretty sure he's gonna find it. So I put it like somewhere around there, and then I just started packing my belongings. So I had my bags packed. I went outside with the children aid workers, and I was sobbing. I was like walking around the circle with one of the workers because the other ones were like dealing with my parents or something. And I heard a lot of screaming and yelling in the background from my mother, of course. I didn't know what was going on in terms of like their dialogue. I just know that this lady was like trying to talk to me, and I was like sobbing. And then I saw Jesse, my boyfriend, and he runs over like super concerned. And he's with Anthony, and I had been crying, and I was trying to be okay. I tried to like snap right back into being okay because I didn't want him to see me like that again. Like, a couple of people had seen me cry before, and I try not to show my emotions in front of people because, again, for me, it's like I want to be positive outside of the house because that's my escape. I don't want to bring other people down with me. Like, that's very contradictory to like the support system that I'm receiving from just being able to be out of the house away from my crazy narcissistic mother. So in that moment, I didn't actually know I looked like I'd been crying. I thought I looked okay. And it's not until we had discussed it afterwards that I realized that he had seen that I had been crying, that he did see it on my face. And I could see Anthony out in the distance, and he was looking like really concerned. And Jesse was just like holding me and hugging me, and he's asking me like, what's going on? What's happening? And I was like, I don't really know, other than the fact that like I'm getting taken to another family tonight. And I said I would try to call him with that family's phone. And the whole time that I was in the house too, my mother kept saying like I was pregnant, and the children AIDS workers, I think they were like gonna pregnancy test me or something. And it's like, we didn't ever even do it. So I wasn't pregnant, I was a virgin. So I don't know, that was crazy. And we went into the car and we started driving, and then I saw my boyfriend, I saw Jesse walking with Anthony down the bridge, and I was like, oh, there's my boyfriend. And so the children's aid worker gave a honk, and like I waved, and he waved back, and I saw him like take his hat off and like throw it on the ground, like, damn it, like he was really upset. And then we just started driving to where I was going to be living, I guess. This has been a really long story, and I mean, it was a little crazy, it was a little dramatic, but it wasn't like too graphic, as I said. So the next episode that I'm going to be talking about won't be that bad either. It doesn't get too graphic yet, so you should be able to still watch these. So that's all I have for you for today, because I don't want to drag this video on too long, so I do want to break these down into chunks. And yeah, I'm going to leave you off today. I definitely want to get back into the Storytime series sometime soon, but it really just depends if you guys are enjoying these videos. So if you're enjoying these videos, please give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below, turning on that notification bell. And if I can see that you babes are enjoying these videos, I will be making more story times very soon. And again, there's going to be some graphic details, really bad graphic details, honestly, in the next chunk of story times. But after I get through those ones, it gets way more exciting, way more interesting, way more entertaining in a not so violently graphic nature. So that's the good news if you are with me so far and you've lasted this far. And when I do get to the graphic videos, which I think will be 1 or 2 videos, predominantly actually I guess one video is like actually like graphic, but another one that might be a bit harder to watch. But yeah, that's my video for today, and I am really excited to pick my Storytime series up again. I don't know how much you're enjoying it, so I want to film more if you're enjoying it and want more. So you can vote with your thumbs up and your subscribe clicking if you want to see more story times. But that's it for me today, and that is my 5-part series for now. Bye for now. Till next time.